people. Okay, so in this week's video, we're going to be catching up and an update on our baby axolotls. As of today, tomorrow, maybe, I don't know, roughly, they are 10 weeks old. So we're going to be catching up on those and showing you, I've got some previous footage of these, catching up until today's date. So I'm going to be showing you that first. And then we'll go on to today's, what's happening right now in the present, and we're going to be doing a water change on them and showing you a little bit of feeding on them as well. So because they're now obviously upgraded and their food, they're now eating frozen bloodworm. Obviously it's been defrosted, all of that jazz. So we're going to be taking you through that. Me and Bethany have selected 5 out of the group that they were to concentrate on. So it's not such a big old deal for the video or for us, because obviously, you know, it takes a lot of time, and if I was to try and go through all of that with you in a video, the video would be redonkulously large. So we're just going to concentrate on these 5. I also think following these 5, we've got one of each type. With different patterns and things like that on them, some slightly darker than others. I think it will be more interesting for you, and it will be easier for you to see their development rather than a massive group of them. So we have 5 selected out, one of which I picked because I'm quite interested in the way it's developing and forming its spots. I'm really hopeful that that one might be my mosaic I was looking for. So fingers crossed for me, I might have a mosaic in this batch. But if not, there is obviously others that are also showing signs of it. But this particular one, I've decided to select out because I thought it would be quite interesting for me and for you maybe, who knows. So I'm going to show you the previous footage now of them a few weeks back going on, because obviously there's gaps in it. There's no point in filming them every single week because they don't develop that quickly. But you'll see more of the development change over that period of time. So let's pop over to my old footage of that, and then we'll catch up with today and get on with what we're up to and what the future is going to hold for them, and how things might start to change in their feeding and things like that. So hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we go then. The next update on the baby axolotls. They are now five weeks old, and we have front legs through on most of them. Not that you can see that one. Let's see if I can get one where you can see. There we are, sort of. Okay, so we're starting to get their front legs through, or our front legs are through. There you go, look, you can see on that one just there. We have front legs, and we are starting to get on some of them. We're starting to get our hind legs developing, as you can sort of see on that one. It's like a white wispy bit. It's a bit difficult to see when they are so tiny. It's not helping with the work surface that I'm on. Let's see if we can get back to this one. Look, there you go. Look, can you see its hind legs? Let's see now. That one's hind legs are virtually all the way through. So we are now going to split them in the next few days. Me and Bethany will be splitting those out into their individual little containers for them to grow out alone, where we won't get any Pac-Manning on each other. So, and here are the lighter group. Now these are obviously going to be even more difficult to see. You can see that one clearly because that one is a leucistic. Obviously when we've got our gold albinos, they're a little bit harder to see, but much easier to see them when they're eating, because obviously, as you can see with that one, you can see all its food that is in its digestive system. You can see the legs clearly on that one, look. The back legs starting to come through. So it's another spurter that's gone forward. Little legs, look. So yeah, so I'm going to feed these some baby brine shrimp. And yeah, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that little update on what's been happening previously to today. So we're now going to do the water changes, aren't we? Which you like to help me with occasionally. So are you going to catch them out of the pots and put them into the new water?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, cool. So what we use is a little net, which is actually a brine shrimp net, which I don't use for brine shrimp because I don't like it. But it is very, very handy for such things, isn't it? Mm-hmm. To catch the little baby axolotls with. So I'm going to hand you said tool, and we're going to go ahead and do the water changes on them, and then obviously you'll see all 5 of the ones that we're concentrating on, and I'll tell you a little bit about each one as we're looking at them. So from now, they are 10 weeks old. They all have all 4 legs. They've all formed lovely, but you will see the growth difference in each one. Some of them have developed faster and grew bigger than others, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll be able to see that hopefully as we go through the video. So right now, let's get ready to do their water changes, and then we will give them some bloodworm. Yes? Okay, let's do that then. Okay, so this is the first one we're going to be doing the water change on. So we have obviously the baby axolotl in the tub, and we have a clean, fresh tub here. So all we're going to do, really simply, is I'm going to pour the water in, aren't I?
Yes.
Yes. And then you're going to catch the little baby and pop it into the clean tub with the clean water. Yep. And there we go. Axolotl safe water is in the tub. So do you want to catch said baby?
Said baby, okay.
You got the net upside down, swing. That's.
I don't know.
It's tricky, isn't it? With a round neck, because they get in them corners. That's it. And pop in, and there you go. So nice and easy. So we're going to repeat that 4 more times.
Yes.
And then we'll get to talking about the babies, and hopefully they'll take some food on camera. Yes? Cool. So we will get on with the rest of the 5, and then we will show you what is happening.
Yes.
Right, so all the water changes are done. Bethany has left me for the moment to go and do something. She comes in and out. So let's take a closer look at these 5. So right here we have a albino, which obviously is a bit hard to see. Probably would have been better if I put it on a black background or a darker background, but you know, hey ho. So there is the albino we're going to be following. All 4 legs developed, looking good. And then this one is our gold albino. As you can see, it's again probably would have been better on a darker background to sit them on, but you know. And there is our gold, who has developed very well. It's the biggest one out of the 5. All 4 feet, and little cute toes. Looking good, looking for food. Knows that, right, clean water change means grub is coming. And it will be shortly. Patience. Here is the wild type that's been selected out. Again, all 4 feet. Nicely developed. It's the second biggest one out of the bunch. And then these 2 are, or this one is the least developed out of the bunch. Out of the 5, this is the smallest, and has yet to fully develop our back legs, which is fine. It's not a problem. It will. It's got tiny little stumps, but other than that, absolutely fine. They'll grow in. But as you can see the patterning on this one, so this is either going to be a dirty leucistic, or this could be the mosaic, because the spots by the looks of it are carrying down the back, and the tail, the tip of the tail is slightly darker, which is implying that we might end up with spotting all the way down there as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that is one to look forward to. Even though it's the smallest, it's actually the one I'm looking forward to the most. The next one is also very interesting, because at first glance I thought it might have been another wild, but then looking at it more closely, you can see that this one has developed all 4 legs, but you can see that the legs on this one are a lot lighter. So the base colouring, if you want, is light. Now that could change. That could absolutely change. And it could darken up, and then it could become a wild. If it stays the way it is now, there is the mosaic or piebald, depending on the way the dots form and the speckling forms on it. So again, another very interesting one. Also, the fact that the gills, the base of the gills, are quite pink in comparison is leading me to believe that's not a wild. But everything can change very, very quickly with axolotls at this size. So this one is all four legs have developed. We've definitely got mottling, obviously all across the head, all across the back, and going into the tail. No mottling or darkening spots on the limbs. So, as you can tell, if you can see lower down on its head, the spots are, whoa, focus. The spots are disappearing. So that's a good sign. So yeah, so these are the 5 that we are concentrating on, and these are the ones we're going to be following. So let's get to food time. I bet Bethany will want to feed them. She always wants to feed them. It's her favourite job in the whole entire world. Okay, food time. So we have here a pot of defrosted bloodworm for the axolotls, because that is now what they are on. So do you want to come and grab some? What we're going to do is we put a pinch of this into each container.
Yeah.
So remember, you only want a few worms into each tub, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, we use fingers. It's a messy job.
Yes, it is.
Well, we could use a little pipette, but you know, it's just as quick. I can have more than that, sweetheart. Put a bit more into these 2 for me. That's it. Perfect.
A little bit more.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, yep, go on then. You go wash your panties. Woo! Just drop the lid. Okay, so there we go. So they are now on bloodworm. So let's see if we can capture one of them eating said bloodworm. I know what one will. That Golgo will, because it's a pig. Once it finds it, it's an absolute piglet. Oh, there you go, look. Wild types on it. They do love a bloodworm. Oh, missed it. All them bloodworms and you missed it. Remember, axolotls can't see very well. So they use their sense of smell to find the food. So that's what that one's doing. It's hunting for its food. Will it get this one? Hey, it got it. You see it, look, in its mouth. That's the cool thing about albinos or golds, when they're this young anyway. You can actually see the food going down, which is quite cool. Oh, that was a big mouthful. You see it, look, in the back of its throat. Yay! It's so funny when they eat. That is one big bloodworm compared to that little baby. That's the smallest one out the group, tackling the biggest worm in the pot. Chew it up a bit more. Chew it up a bit more, look. And that's it. Swallowed. And can we see this one getting one? Gone. Bless the little babies. Okay, so there we go. Really, that's going to be it for the next however long. They will need to upgrade their tubs again. So I'll go from, oh dear, I will go from this size tub that they're in now, and then they'll go back to this size tub. So it's backwards and forwards and lots of tubbing. When they grow out of this size tub, so when they're around sort of that big, then they'll go into the plastic racking systems that I use individually into there as well. The ones I want obviously to keep back, that's how I'll store them. The ones that I will be selling or finding new homes for in whatever way, they will be kept in groups in bigger containers, because obviously I don't have that amount of plastic drawers and racking to be doing, which is why obviously I limit myself to how many I do spawn per year, because you can get very quickly overrun with baby axolotls. They're very cute, but they take up some time. So again, just to run over it quickly, we're still on daily water changes, minimum of 1, depending on how much they eat their food and they poop. We are on bloodworm, defrosted bloodworm at the moment, so they've gone from brine shrimp. I mixed the brine shrimp when I was changing them over to bloodworm. I mixed the brine shrimp and actually defrosted the bloodworm, chopped them up into little pieces, and then put them in at the same time to try and make the crossover that little bit better. But now, obviously, as you can see, they're now big enough to be taking a whole bloodworm absolutely fine. 9 times out of 10, what you want is, you don't want the food obviously to be bigger than their mouth. Now, believe it or not, axolotls actually have quite large mouths. They're quite wide, so they're literally the whole width of the front of the head. So they can take quite large food. I'm watching this gold one; it's going mental. No wonder it's the biggest one out of the bunch. It does love its food, that one. So yeah, so we'll catch up with those probably in a month or 2, because like I said, the growth rate is going to be there, but obviously it's only going to be how big they are. So we'll go from that, and then obviously their next food upgrade will be to bigger food. So from the bloodworm, I might go on to a little bit of seafood, so a little bit of chopped up shrimp, maybe chopped up prawns, sorry. Obviously they'll go on to earthworms as well, and I will need to start pellet training very soon. So that will be the next thing they need to do, is obviously now they are eating their bloodworms fine, I'll get a little bit more size onto them, and then I'll start pellet training, because I like my axolotls before they find new homes, to be eating virtually anything I give them. A lot of the times you'll find, when I've had people come to me before, to me and saying, that they've brought a baby axolotl about this big from a pet shop, and they won't take pellets. They'll only eat bloodworm, and that's literally the only reason for that is 9 times out of 10 is because they haven't experienced any other kind of food. So to them, it's strange. It's like anything; you need that time, that crossover period, to get them to start eating things like that. So obviously, all the pet shops will do 9 times out of 10 is just throw a couple of cubes in, and let them get on with it and let them find their food, which is absolutely fine. But then obviously when you purchase one and you've been told that it can eat, it can eat pellets, for instance. This is, just one type I use. And then they don't eat for you. It's very concerning. So I do like, before mine go anywhere, to get them on to a few different types of pellets. Obviously bloodworm, earthworms, and a little bit of seafood as well. Just to try and vary their diet as much as possible, so then whatever they're fed when they get to their new permanent home, it's not such a shock to them, and the new owner finds it a lot easier to be able to cope with them. So for now, wonderful people, I am going to say bye-bye and love you and leave you. I don't really know. The next, I think probably the next video will be, well, the next video on the axolotls will be obviously an update video again on how they're getting on. But it will also be me moving my my breeding adults and the ones I've kept back as juveniles from my last spawn, which are doing quite well, that I've kept back for breeding purposes, into the new filter house and out of the polytunnel, because I still have my breeders in here and a few juveniles dotted about. And obviously I've got some breeders and some juveniles in the polytunnel. Now obviously the temperature in here is fairly warm. I'm sort of on their limit with them. They're coping with it absolutely fine. They're in unheated tanks, but obviously the room does get pretty warm in here. And especially in the summer, it can get even warmer. So again, I will need to move them out of here, the same as I will need them to move them out of the polytunnel. So really, I suppose I need to get my butt moving doing that filter house, don't I? So we'll see. I could be anywhere next time. You never know. You never know with me. I could be outside. I could be in here. I could be on a road trip. Who knows? So for now, people, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to say bye. So take care of yourself out there, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.